Hello and welcome to Boxing in Your Face. My name is Joe Cortez, international boxing referee from Las Vegas, Nevada. And today is September 15, 2012. And we have today none other than the legendary fighter, welterweight contender from the mid-1950s to the late 1960s. We have none other than the great Gaspar Indian Orteaga. Gaspar, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks to you to invite me, especially to your place. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Thank you very much. Well, Gaspar, you know, the reason why we have Gaspar Orteaga with us on our show is because today, September 15, Canelo Alvarez, will be fighting for his junior middleweight championship, or super welterweight championship, 154 pounds against the up-and-coming rising star Joselito Lopez, who recently stopped Victor Ortiz. And Canelo is an outstanding fighter, and Lopez is just as outstanding because stopping Victor Ortiz was a surprise to a lot of individuals out there. But the bottom line is this: I will be refereeing that main event tonight. In about roughly 8 hours from now, we should be coming into the ring. But the purpose that I have of having Gaspar Orteaga here today is because Gaspar Orteaga started me out as a fighter back in the early 60s, but I met Gaspar when he first moved to New York when he was 19 years of age, and I was a young little up-and-coming little brat, you could say, spoiled brat in the Spanish Harlem in New York, maybe destined to go into the wrong way in life because I didn't have a father image. My mother was raising 4 boys by herself, and the great Gaspar Orteaga and his brother Felix moved to 99th Street as professional fighters, and that's where it all started. He took me under his wing, put me on the right track, and I became a fighter. I became an amateur fighter, winning 6 Golden Glove championships, the Spanish Golden Gloves, the Easterns, the Nationals, and you name it. I won 2 New York Golden Glove championships, the Novice and the Open, and the rest of the championships were other Golden Glove tournaments. But Gaspar Orteaga is here today because today I will announce my retirement from boxing as a referee. After 35 years in the ring, refereeing close to 200 world championship fights, give or take a few, whatever. The thing is that Gaspar Orteaga started me out at the beginning of my career, and he's here with me to end my career as a professional referee. So, Gaspar, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? A lot of fans, maybe a younger generation, cannot really appreciate, like I can, and some of the old-timers in boxing, understand the legend that Gaspar Orteaga is because of his records and his fights, outstanding fights that he had in Madison Square Garden and different parts of the world, but only had the opportunity to fight Emil Griffith for the title once. Gaspar fought Emil Griffith when Gaspar was 24 years of age, but Gaspar had close to 80 professional fights under his belt when he was given the opportunity. Can you tell me a little bit about your career, Gaspar?
Well, my career started in 1950, and I was a 14, 15 years old boy, and I said Tijuana, Baja. And that year I became a champion of the area of Tijuana, Baja California. From there, they asked me I want to go pro. And I said, it's only I weigh 112 pounds. And I can't, no fight in that division. Nobody, I want to feed you, you want to get some weight, to gain weight. So they said, okay, I want to go fight professional. So we started in 1950. And I remember the kid who I fought, he has already about 5 fights, and it was my first fight. And how that happened, I don't know. I won the fight.
Okay, so in other words, so you started professionally when you was at the age of 16. 16 years of age, and then you went on, had about, how many fights did you have in that Mexico and that borderline states? How many fights did you have before you moved to New York?
I think I have about between 25 and 30 fights.
Yeah, 30 fights, but you came up to New York, and you were about 19 years old at the time. And I remember when you first moved to the neighborhood, 99th Street, between Park and Madison, Gaspar and his brother came there, and they looked kind of different to me. They didn't look like Puerto Ricans. They looked real strange, because they looked like two Indians standing in front of a building next door to where I used to live. So I approached them, and I used to ask them, "Hey, how you guys doing?" In Spanish, No, in English. And Gaspar responded to me in Spanish, kind of broken English. He said, "No speak the English." "Oh, no habla inglés." But then I started talking to him in Spanish, and that was the beginning of our friendship. And it was been an everlasting friendship, because from back in the mid-50s to today, here we're 2012, and we talk on the phone almost every week, just about. I always keep in contact with you. And Gaspar, you got me started in boxing, and it's been an honor for me, because if it wasn't for boxing, I don't know where I'll be today. But the great Gaspar Orteaga got me to where I'm at. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay. Number one, that nobody can become so famous and a good fighter if they don't want to. No, you have that thing in yourself, that you want to be somebody. And you asked me, you can train with me. I said, you can train, but not with me. You can come to see me, and I'm professional. So I said, okay. I will start tomorrow. See, yeah. I said, what is my first thing to do? And I told you to be down in the floor in the street at 6:30 in the morning to go to the road work. And really, you were there when I come out of the house. And we went to the Central Park, and we started running there. And I started teaching how to breathe, how to walk, how to wear a map and all these things. But I would learn real quick, real fast. And I said to myself, this kid is going to be a good fighter.
Well, that's great. So Gaspar Orteaga, yes, in the morning, he told me one day, be downstairs at 6:30 in the morning. We're going to do road work in Central Park. And I was very prompt with that request, and I was there to do road work with the great Gaspar Orteaga. We used to run around the reservoir in Central Park in New York, and that's when Gaspar started teaching me some moves and whatnot. And yeah, of course, I really loved the sport. And my brother Mike got into it first. Then I eventually got into as a boxer myself. But Gaspar, there were great moments where you and I traveled. When I first had my first pro fight in Bakersfield, California, in December 1962, against Tony Salgado, and I won the fight by technical knockout in the third round. I weighed 117 3/4 pounds that night, and I still keep my hand wraps on the wall there of that night when we had to wear 6-ounce gloves.
Yeah, right.
6-ounce gloves. They were skin-tight gloves, and I had a good jab and a good left hook, and I used that to win the fight that night. But then from there, you took me to Hawaii. Then from there, we went to Mexico, and we fought. I fought in Hawaii about four times. Fought in Mexico. I think we fought about 8 or 9 times in Mexico. And then we came back to New York. So you had me traveling all over the place, and sparring with you was a great lesson for me to learn how to spar, because
the moves.
Yeah, you showed me all the moves, and you showed me how to keep myself in good physical condition and keep myself focused, and taught me a lot of discipline, and that brought up my self-esteem and confidence level went up, all because I learned this from you, the great Gaspar Indian Orteaga. Gaspar, now you had 185 professional fights.
According to the record, yes.
Right, but you said you had a couple more that were not recorded into the box rec, so you could say close to maybe 200 fights as a professional.
Yeah, I think so, because they started recording my record in 1954.
54.
And I started in 1950.
And it started in 1950, so there was about 4 years that went by that fights were not recorded. But anyway, the thing is that today, Gaspar is here in Las Vegas with his son Mike Orteaga, and Mike Orteaga is my godson, and Mike Orteaga is an individual that is an outstanding referee. He's done close to maybe 30, 40 world championship fights. And I remember your legal name is Gaspar Benitez.
Yeah, right.
And the reason why you changed your name was because
My mother don't want me to fight, so I changed my name. And when the first time she found out that I was fighting, she beat my ass real bad.
well, anyway, so that's what happened to you as a fighter. That's why you changed your name to Ortega. And now, when Mike Ortega was going to turn pro as a referee, I said, Mike, you don't want to use the name Benitez, even though I know your legal name is Benitez. You want to use to give honor and pride. And for your father, Ortega, I want everybody to know in the world that you are the son of the great legendary fighter, the great Gaspar Orteaga. So Mike Ortega, well, you know, guys, I know him as an outstanding referee. His real name, legal name is Mike Benitez. And I love him, and this is like my son, and we're like, well, this is family. Gaspar Ortega and we're family, you know. Anything that goes on in the family, whether it's good, whatever, bad, anything, I'm in the family, I'm involved with that family because they are my family. And Gaspar Ortega basically raised me as a youngster coming up, so I'm very honored to have you here today because, again, if it wasn't for you, I don't know where I'll be. Where I will be today, but I want to thank you so much because today is a special day. Coming back home after tonight's event at the MGM Hotel, very few people know that I'm retiring, so there's a little bit of news went out to some of my colleagues out there. But tonight, after the fight, we're going to have an after-fight party that my daughters and my wife put together here at my home. And this is my home right here. This is my boxing ring in my gym. And Gaspar Ortega, I want to thank you so much for being here along with your son Michael, because Michael is, again, family, Gaspar Ortega. I love you like a father. And thank you so much, or big brother, whatever you want to call it. Thank you so much for helping me out and making me the person that I am. And what else, in closing, what do you want to say?
So, the only thing I can say is you have to put me out in the sky, you know. I am this Gaspar Ortega, that's it.
Gaspar, yeah, I know you're very proud. I would be very proud too, knowing that I have one of my children to reach a certain level in life. To me, I'm very neutral. I feel I'm humble. Nothing went to my head throughout the years as a referee. I've still been the same individual. My thing is helping out people, just like you have always helped out people. You taught me that, and I picked that up from you, and my children, and my grandchildren as well, and your son Michael, Renee, Martha. They all have, and Gasparin, your youngest of the three boys, all turn out to be just like you. So I want to thank you so much, Gaspar.
You're welcome, and thanks to you to invite me to this special event.
Well, thank you very much, and we love you guys. Take care. God bless you, and I'll talk to you after my retirement. Take care, guys. Good luck.